All right, all right.
Who was that white guy that's into jazz history? What's his name?
Stephen Leach.
I was trying to remember this.
All right, all right.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego picking. We do so because chains of oppression of people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye. I'm your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM. Hey, good morning, Vaughn on Facebook Live. That's right. I am also, wait a minute. Make sure that, oh yeah. I am also on Facebook Live. That's right. Hey, I got a lot for you today. I'm going to go ahead and get it started. First of all, the COVID is out there. It's out there. Don't get it mixed. I think, 2 million people in the U.S. have died from it? I've been tested 3 times. Thank God I came up negative. I had some friends and what have you that came up positive. Gratefully, they were able to get through that. Okay, if you want to get tested, oh, wait a minute, okay. If you want to get tested, there are places to go. For instance, Monday, you can go to Frawley Stadium from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's 801 Shipyard Drive, Frawley Stadium. You can go to the Wilmington Athletic Complex on Pulaski Highway. Delcastle on the 19th. Wilmington University on the 19th from 1 to 6. Delcastle, there's Stanton campus on Newport Road. You get tested there from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right. So there are places to go to get tested. You can go to Henrietta Medical Center, 601 Newcastle Avenue, on Wednesday, January the 20th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday, January 21st, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Friday, January 22nd, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, January 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. All right. All right. All right. This is WHGE 95.3, the education advocacy station. And what do I advocate for? Anybody that knows me knows doggone well what I advocate for. I advocate for my people. Not that I don't give a damn about other people, but black first. You got a problem with that? Oh, that's racist. No, no, no. I'm not racist. I'm racial. In that I put the concerns of my people first and foremost. And don't get it mixed. I love my people. I'm telling you. Blind, crippled, or crazy. I had nothing but love for my people. And some of y'all are crazy. But I still got love for you. And I still want to see you out of the abyss of oppression. This is why I do what I do. You know, like I said, you know, we got a lot of things going on. And of course, I like to occasionally wax philosophically, as I say. Listen to me. It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life if you continue to believe. As you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. If you continue to act as you have always acted, you will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your work, all you have to do is change your mind. That's all you got to do. It's really not that hard. You know, you've heard of this saying, speak it into existence. You can actually do that. This is all in your mind. Speak it into existence. You can make it happen. That's for damn sure. All right. Oh, like I said, you know, we got a lot to deal with. Let's start here. A couple of things here. I like to deal with our history. All right. And of course, I have a couple of things coming up on that, considering what era we're coming into and why y'all got a damn 3-day weekend. All right. In 1865, Sherman's Special Order Number 15 was issued by Union Army Major General William Sherman. During the Civil War, after the 300-mile march from Atlanta to Savannah, known as Sherman's March to the Sea, the order was to divide 400,000 acres of confiscated land, that's confiscated Confederate land, and 40-acre plots and Army-issued mules among the 18,000 former slave families to help in the cultivation of the land, specifically the islands of Charleston, South, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River in Florida, which is basically the I-95 corridor from Charleston, South Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. Special Order Number 15 was revoked by white supremacist racist President Andrew Johnson, who took office after Lincoln was assassinated. President Johnson was against the 14th Amendment, the one that gives Negroes citizenship, and allowed the Confederate States to basically resume business as usual in the South. Hence, the land was given back to the white slave owners, and that's why you never got your 40 acres and a mule. In case you didn't know. Now, tell you something. There was a time in America when Black Americans actually did get it together, build their own businesses, institutions, and resources. They were killed for that. There's a saying the old folks have, and you've heard me state it many times, concerning Black economic success. There's nothing a racist, white supremacist, hesitated there, had to catch myself. There's nothing a racist white supremacist with a penny hates more than a Black man with a nickel. Black American unity is seen as a threat. The USA doesn't want Black America to be independent of white America. Research the New York City race riots of 1863, the Atlanta race riots of 1906, the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre of 1921, the Rosewood massacre of 1923, the Washington, D.C. race riots of 1919, the Knoxville, Tennessee race riots of 1919, and the East St. Louis massacre of 1917. See, white supremacist terrorism is nothing new in America. You know, these fools acting all shocked over what happened January 6th in D.C. when these insurrectionists had trouble with that word last week. Insurrectionists invaded the Capitol, attempted a government coup. This was a failed government coup. Don't get it mixed. We're going to have plenty on that later. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware. Excuse me. All right. Goodbye. Okay.
Views and opinions expressed in the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM or our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to align any religion, ethnic group, company, or
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. As I said, your third eye optometrist here, opening that third eye for you. Patrice Gibbs on the Open Eye. Hey, I know some of y'all real happy right now. Okay, and I know why you're happy. Because you got a 3-day weekend. Yeah, got Monday off. Those of you that still have to go to work in this COVID environment. Now, hey, Sherry, cousin Sherry, and Bessie, hey, sweetness. I see y'all. Thank you for joining us. Oh, yeah, and I know Connor. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, got a 3-day weekend. Why we have a 3-day weekend? Oh, sorry about that. Because Monday we are celebrating Dr. King's birthday. His birthday was actually yesterday. All right. And, hey man, give me a little second here. It's live radio. You never know what's going to happen. Okay. Got my ducks in a row here. All right. All right. Yeah. Like I said, Monday, celebrating Dr. King's birthday. Excuse me, Vaughn. I told you he was 95. He would be 95. He would be 92. He was born in 1929. Michael King changed his name to Martin. Now, I would tell you that it's great that we celebrate Dr. King's legacy and what have you. I was actually never a big supporter of Dr. King's birthday celebration. Okay. Now, what a lot of companies do is they don't actually give their people a day off. What they do is they push them into a day of community service. And that's nice. But the reasoning behind that is Dr. King served America. He served his community. He was all about service. Dr. King was all about the liberation of Black people. Dr. King was all about radical change. If you really want to honor Dr. King, then what you would do is spend the day if you're only going to dedicate a day to removing the yokes of oppression on black people in this country. Yeah, of course, we got those that say, come on, man, it's 2021. We had a black president, this, that, and the other, you know. And of course, they turn a blind eye to what is actually still going on. We are still economically oppressed, socially oppressed. We cannot travel freely. And now, right now, I would advise anyone in this climate of Trumpism not to travel by yourself and to watch your back. Because these white supremacists have every intention of bringing harm. See, what a lot of people don't understand is what this terrorist coup was actually all about. It was about overturning the votes of black people. Because a major reason that Joe Biden was elected is because black people turned out. So they want to make our vote null and void. So they're going to, attempt to overturn the government. But back to Dr. King. I've stated many times, many of y'all really didn't know Dr. King. All right? Tell you a couple of little things. Tell you one thing. Dr. King was extraordinarily intelligent. Extraordinarily intelligent. He entered college, Morehouse College, in 1944 at the age of 15. He graduated with a bachelor's degree 4 years later, 1948. Graduated from Morehouse College in 1948. Caught up with his older sister. Pretty smart, 15 years old. He had his PhD by the time he was 26. America is something else. Murdered the man, and then claimed they love him and gave him a holiday. Ain't that something? That's what it is. It's something else. In the house, my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma, was our brother. Good morning.
Good morning, yo. What's up? You know how it is.
Yeah, I know you got the king
Yo,
job.
then I picked up the other two that I had dropped. I had quit 2 other jobs.
Right.
And they came back.
Jeez Louise.
Yo,
Jeez Louise.
what's
We talk about Dr. King here.
I know I heard you coming up the highway. You
Yeah.
probably live far.
Right.
Yeah.
What I wonder is, what Dr. King are you going to celebrate Monday? The mythological Dr. King that
First of all, I would like if they put it on his real birthday.
Yeah, which was yesterday. But these people want a 3-day weekend.
I mean, that's good too, though. But I mean, it's always putting dirt into our history. You know what I'm saying? That's dirt to me. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
If you ask a kid when Martin Luther King birthday, they'll say that day that's the holiday is.
Right.
And they'll be wrong.
They'll be wrong, right? Because his birthday is the 15th.
It's about learning our history.
That it is. Like I said, which Dr. King we gonna celebrate? We gonna celebrate the Dr. King that y'all have whitewashed and milked down, or we gonna say the Dr. King? Are we gonna celebrate the Dr. King that said this? It's a quote from Dr. King.
Right.
The thing wrong with America is white racism. White folks are not right. It's time for America to have an intensified study on what's wrong with white people. And Dr. King.
What you think's wrong with white people? What did he think was wrong with white people? Did he ever say that? Is it another piece to that?
Well, what he said was he usually called them, our sick brothers. in the South, you know. But of course, he came to realize that, this sickness is nationwide.
Right. It wasn't just in the South.
It wasn't just in the South. He was the mindset that what was wrong with white people was a deep-seated mental illness. And I don't think he's far off the mark. Now, I want to say that to those that claim the mantle of black power, right on.
Right on.
But some of y'all like to pretend Martin woke up in the last couple of years of his life. Martin was woke and radical from the gate. As a matter of fact, Martin scared the hell out of the civil rights elders of his time and his contemporary allies. When they could no longer rein Martin in, they turned on him. I'm going to tell you who was hit to Martin from the gate. And that was Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Adam said Martin does not belong to the decadent, aristocratic colonialists of the civil rights movement. That's him. He called them out. Because, the leaders of the civil rights movement, I'm talking about people like Ralph Bunche and Roy Wilkins and what have you, they were elitists. See, the original civil rights movement was really a middle class black church movement. I don't discount their accomplishments in opening up the society, where we had a common access to things that we had never had before. But they took that thing too far. And I understand what happened with our people, because you take a child that's been raised in a real strict household,
right?
And as soon as they 18 or whatever, and able to get out of the house and away from that strictness that their parents imposed on them, right, what they do?
Rebel.
Go buck wild.
Right. They
I saw it.
Cut loose.
Right. Cut loose. And see, that's what our people did. After living under segregation, when things opened up, instead of realizing that we were now free to build, we ran away from ourselves. And gave up our institutions, gave up our businesses and what have you, because we had access gave up our unity. Because we had access now to white America's economic endeavors. And it was foolishness. It was foolishness on the leaders, the decadent aristocratic colonialists of the civil rights movement, as well as the foolishness on our people. But I'm not going to be too hard on our people on that respect because of what we have went through.
See, I really can't believe that we still talking about this situation in 2021.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like the main topic still.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that is disgraceful to me.
Yeah, disgraceful but not surprising.
I mean, not surprising, but it's just disgraceful to me from America.
Mm-hmm.
From the point that the America is doing this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like a slap in the face. Like for all the work and all the achievements and all of this, you let this one guy come in and make it all reborn again in your face. Before it was hidden, it was a little bit more respectful. And now it's just open broadly like they're not human. And we are human. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole key. We are human. We may not be their citizens, but we are human beings. So the law of the land supersedes their law for us because we are human. You see what I'm saying? That's so. I mean, like, we have to start fighting back and standing on our own 2 feet and being a military that we need to be to protect our own and to just claim our own and just be in the man and men and women that we are to raise our kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Stop taking handouts.
right.
We don't need your handouts.
No.
We can do it. We know
You know.
somebody that can do it. Or he knows somebody. And it's a network of our people that does everything because we did it for them.
And we can do, and we did it for ourselves.
Right. And we did it for ourselves.
We did it for
before
ourselves.
They stole
right.
us.
See, this was the other edge of desegregation, was that we forgot somewhere along the line that we can manage our community.
And we successfully
manage our community.
It's not a failed process.
No.
We always achieved when we did that.
Yes.
Anything that we
even
did.
Under the pressure of white supremacy and oppression, even under that pressure, you know, well, for instance, I always like to bring up one of the things like we gave up to be a part of mainstream America, and that's the Negro League. That's the Negro Baseball League. We had, what was it, 20,000 of the greatest players that ever played baseball, a multi-million-dollar business, and we gave that up to see one of the mediocre players from the Negro Baseball Leagues get into Major League Baseball. And I say that, you know, without any malice when I call Jackie Robinson a mediocre player amongst the Negro League players. Because he shined in the Major League. And see, that tells you how much better the Negro League players were. That one of our mediocre players was a major star and a major player in Major League Baseball. And we had people like Satchel Paige. Look, I'm going to tell you something. And I've always been a fan of Satchel Paige. Satchel Paige is the greatest pitcher in baseball, black, white, or otherwise,
right,
ever. He came into the Major League Baseball when he was 40-something years old and was a major star. Come on. I swear, like I said, you know. Now, as we celebrate Martin, one of the things that we have to be clear about is who Martin was. Because every year, you know, they whitewash who Martin was. And these...
Every year?
Every year.
So it's getting thinner.
And it's getting thinner and thinner. That's why we got to keep it, we got to keep it real. You know, and these racist corporations, you know, they have these commercials like, what was it? I saw one. I think it was, the big one is Living the Dream. Starbucks don't even want black people in their damn establishment, but they living the dream. The hell out of here. I saw Wells Fargo. You can't even get a goddamn loan at Wells Fargo, but they live in the dream. You go to hell, Wells Fargo. Bunch of crooks. Yeah. You know, I almost said some other stuff there, Jack.
I missed the beat.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, you have a technical difficulty. Yo,
yeah, I feel you, bro.
I know Miss Hughes too. So,
Yeah,
sorry, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yo, man, it's serious, man, and the niggas go into that, and not only us, but we speaking. A lot of people thinking the same words.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
You know, and I tell you, you know, when J. Edgar Hoover was asked what was the biggest threat to America, J. Edgar Hoover was the first director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI.
Right.
He said black unity.
I mean, but
he didn't say the mob. He didn't say drugs. He didn't say the war in Vietnam at the time. He said black unity was the biggest threat to America. See, and this is the fear that still goes on with these white supremacists. And one thing that, or one man that J. Edgar Hoover definitely feared was Dr. King. Now, a lot of people say that when Dr. King spoke out against the Vietnam War, he signed his death warrant. But it was a lot deeper than that, because he was not at the forefront of speaking out against the war. There was already a major anti-war movement fronted primarily by white people, but he was highly criticized for speaking out against the Vietnam War.
I think that he was targeted from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was targeted from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't put this plan together overnight, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They had to have years of planning. They wasn't infiltrating the people next to him. Wasn't infiltrating them right then.
Right.
They had to build it up and work it up, and get the information, do the scouting of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, that was years of planning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree on that. I tell you what, they didn't get really afraid of him when he was just, integrating the buses and getting diners opened up and this, that, and the other.
But they were sinking dogs and stuff on him.
They didn't want him doing that.
They were coming out there trying to kill him and beat him to death and cripple him and stuff like that.
And they probably would have killed him when he got locked up in Birmingham if it wasn't for the Kennedys. He got locked up in Birmingham where he wrote his great letter from a Birmingham jail. Because they put him out in the boonies outside of Birmingham, and there's a good chance that these white supremacists was going to take him out. But some of his supporters, including of course his wife, called on the Kennedys and they got him out of there.
Right.
Let me hit this piece off here. Fear of Martin. By 1967, the Black Power movement had come to the fore. White America had its fill of civil progress. Many whites that had supported Dr. King felt the work was done. Support was already eroding when Dr. King took a stance against the Vietnam War. Martin Luther King was vehemently criticized by blacks and whites alike for coming out against the war. And of course, like you said, he was already targeting him. The death threats escalated. At the beginning of 1968, Dr. King was considered the most divisive figure in America. 1968 was the year he was killed. No one wants to seem to accept or even notice where Dr. King was actually as far as his revolutionary stance and how radical he was. Actually, it's not really even talked about. Like I said, they try to water that down as much as they can. Initially, Dr. King was somewhat dismissive of the Black Power movement. Dr. King took another look and acknowledged the Black Power movement. Not only did he acknowledge it, he embraced it, understood it, defined it, and explained it with these words. Black Power, from Dr. King, and its broad and positive meaning is a call to black people to amass the political and economic strength to achieve their legitimate goals. No one can deny that the Negro is in dire need of this kind of legitimate power. Black Power is also a call for the pooling of black financial resources to achieve economic security. Through the pooling of such resources and the development of habits of thrift and techniques of wise investment, the Negro will be doing his share to grapple with his own problem of economic deprivation. If Black Power means the development of this kind of strength within the Negro community, then it is a quest for basic necessary legitimate power.
Right.
In early 1968, Dr. King, the undisputed leader of the civil rights movement, reached out to the Black Power movement and was well received. So don't get it mixed that, of course, this was after the death of Malcolm, but Malcolm and Martin had agreed to work together in early 1965 before Malcolm was killed. Don't get it mixed that Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and the leaders of the Black Power movement, Stokely Carmichael and what have you, that they had some animosity towards Dr. King. They respected Dr. King. That's why when he reached out to him, it was well received. Those close to Dr. King and the public at large might have turned a blind eye to what was going on. The government, specifically the FBI and J. Edgar Hoover, were watching very closely. J. Edgar Hoover despised Dr. King with all the hatred of a throbbing of the mouth, rabid, racist redneck.
Wow.
Yeah. Hoover's hatred was savagely psychotic. It was actually psychotic. After the 1963 March on Washington, Hoover declared Dr. King the most dangerous man in America.
Because he was able to have access and control of all these black people.
Right.
So he was like that, a finger on the button.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And of course, Dr. King was a recipient of the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize. FBI Director Hoover's obsessive hate went over the edge after that. Hoover put the full power of the FBI behind eliminating Dr. King. The plot involved office break-ins, use of informers, mail opening, wiretapping, and bugging Dr. King's office, home, and any hotel rooms he might have stayed in.
Right. Just the higher surveillance on him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like you said. Agents sent letters threatening to expose Dr. King's dalliances and implying that he should commit suicide.
Who should commit suicide?
But Dr. King, they was like, if you don't commit suicide,
we're gonna come get you.
We're gonna expose you that you've been cheating on your wife and running women.
Just their stuff.
Yeah,
Their nonsense.
They're nonsense.
Oh,
they're nonsense. That's what. And when Dr. King embraced the Black Power movement,
right?
Okay, Hoover's nefarious intentions took on an urgency. March 4th, 1968, the FBI issued a COINTELPRO memo that included the need to prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalists. Malcolm X might have been such a messiah. He's the martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad all aspire to the position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. King could be a real contender if he would abandon his coalition with white liberals and embrace black nationalism, which is what he was doing. 1 month later, Dr. King was assassinated. Yeah.
It's a vicious, dirty, conniving, underhanded, scheming.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm telling you.
Yo, it's a lot of words for that.
Oh, and it is, brother.
I
it's
mean,
what
is the core process of solving this disease in our
society?
Society. Mm-hmm. And not only the society, but the world, because this is going all around the world.
Yeah.
People are looking at black people like they really stigmatizing us as black people. I mean, a lot of other countries think that we're like that, what they saying and portraying. You know what I'm saying? So it's black people being sold right now.
Mm-hmm.
How is it 2021 and it's black people being sold legally? How is that
done?
I mean, humans being sold. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man.
It is. It is. You know, it's
then when you go get the thing things to protect yourself from people coming and doing this to you, they have a problem with that.
Mhm.
So I say stay strapped up. They give you the
Absolutely.
right. They give you the right. Every citizen has the right to bear arms through their law.
That's
But
it.
you got a natural law that you have the right to protect yourself, period.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
And that's what we have to go by. Their law is killing us. So we have to go by the higher natural law and protect our own selves. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. I definitely feel you on that, bro.
My God.
That's word. It's, you know, and like I said earlier,
Right?
by all means, be careful out here with what's going on in the age of Trumpism. Be careful about traveling
man.
by yourself.
Right, it's dangerous out
It's
here.
dangerous out here.
Especially for black people.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
That's word.
Wrong place and wrong time. A couple white boys high or drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And want to have fun. And they see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another Emmett Till. I mean, anything can happen. You know
That's
what I'm saying? So we had. Look what they did to the Capitol because our vote counted.
Right.
They was upset because our vote counts.
That's it.
You understand?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That you see the response that they want to tear down their own thing now because it was too fair.
Right.
It was too fair for them, and they couldn't believe that the guy lost through the vote of the blacks.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
So they want to go tear the whole thing down.
They're going to tear the whole thing down before they give up their privilege and power.
That's telling us as blacks that they've never cared about us. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand up on your own. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's messy.
Yeah, it's messy. Nsoromma on WHGE 95.3, the open eye.
Yeah. You was doing it, Sherry. It's good.
Brother Alan.
Say, what's that, boy? I see, boy.
Yeah.
Yo. Crack. Yo, what's up? Samaya. Yo, Pink. What's good with you? Yo, Eric, what's happening? Hey, yo. Yeah. Making dirty moves in all levels and high places. Black Lives Matter.
My City by Nsoromma right here on WHGE 95.3 FM. This is Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
Yes, sir. Hey, you know, with what's going on, look, I saw a thing on Facebook. Right. You know, they've been having these versus events where, you know, they get old school artists like, you know, there's something called Monica and Brandy, now old school artists, but they are. I think they had, they was going to have Nas versus Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
This versus stuff?
The battle versus.
The battle versus, right, right. Well, somebody called for Candace Owens versus Jane Elliott. Now, for those of you that don't know who these people are, let me hit you here. Candace Owens is a young black woman,
right,
who has nothing but animosity for black people. She is the classic example of a Negro king bed wench. That's who Candace Owens is. You know, she was.
That's the homegirl. Oh yeah. You go in on her.
Oh yeah, you know I do. You know I go in on that hustle. I can't stand that hustle. Now they will have her debate Jane Elliott. Now Jane Elliott is the elderly elderly white woman,
right,
who speaks on racial issues.
Oh, the white lady that tell everybody put your hand up. I like her, man. She's the truth.
Yeah, she's the truth.
And the other girl, hey yo, okay, I see the opposite this or the other. I see.
Yeah. And Jane Elliott would eat her ass alive.
To pieces.
She would destroy her.
I mean, through true history.
Yeah.
She's a historian also.
Yeah, she's a historian. Right?
Yeah, and this Candace Owens chick, she's
just a sellout.
Yeah, she's like
handkerchief.
She's what you call a media freak. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's a media skeezer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
man, that's a good way to put it. A media skeezer.
Right, a media
That's the
skeezer.
hell
So,
she did.
and a lot of people don't know what skeezers are because that was a black word. It's in my slang scenario that's soon to be pressed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A skeezer is just like streetwalker. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? Okay.
I think we can say that.
I don't know, because we say a lot of stuff that's come on by mistake.
That's right.
She's a media skeezer. You know what I'm saying?
There she is.
So, she just out to get her name and get her lights and get her 15 minutes or 3 hours of fame or whatever, however long she can stay in the light and be this princess that she thinks she is while she's doing it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and don't get it mixed. I know she married a white dude and what have you. And I'm not saying that she's wrong for who she married and all this, that, and the other.
For love.
For love, and that's what
But it's all crazy.
Yeah, it's all crazy. You can't always choose who you love.
Fall in love with.
Who you fall in love with.
Bam.
Damn, yeah, But see, the thing is,
you in love with a great Dane now.
Damn.
Like a dog.
And unfortunately, we got some of them.
Most definitely. That's all in the freedom of choice and the freedom of spirit. And, the American freedom that America was supposed to have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they can do that kind of stuff, but they can't give black people their freedom.
How about that? How about that?
Like, it's deep.
Now, one of the things that Candace Owens claims is that anything that actually benefits black people is reverse racism. Let me tell you something. Reverse racism does not exist. Listen, reverse racism is not real. Reverse racism is not a thing. Things like BET, Black Girls Rock, or Black History Month are not reverse racism against white people. Because remember, in this society where white is seen as the default race, all history is white history. But racism isn't just some feeling superior to another race and then discriminating against them. That's just the tip of the very messed up iceberg.
No, that's just like, when it's like that, that's an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's not even really, we can walk away from that particular racism.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's a world racism and it's dealing with you getting a car loan and you getting a house and stuff like that, that becomes a governmental racism.
Mm-hmm.
So the government is pushing it. They just falling in line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Racism works on both an individual and a societal level.
Right.
Minorities have fewer opportunities to express prejudice against white, and they don't have no power, no institutional power that protects them if they do. Let me reiterate. A black person expressing racial prejudice or those kind of ideas about white people or any other race is not okay. But on a structural level, black prejudice does not affect the rights of white people. It doesn't affect the rate at which whites go to jail, experience police brutality, unemployment, poverty, or housing discrimination. Blacks experience these realities at a much higher number than anybody. Someone with a white-sounding name is 50% more likely to get a job, a callback, than someone with an ethnic-sounding name. And I hate to say it.
Say it, brother.
Right? But some of these names that we give our people, that we give our children, Stinky Samaya, or, combining names and what have you, Dick Rhonda, I didn't mean to use your name like that, all right?
Yo, what you doing?
But
Nah.
the grinder is not going to get a job. You might as well name her food stamp. Damn.
Now that's what she should have said. Because the names, you know.
Yeah. And we got some beautiful
You
names.
get mad at the kid because he can't pronounce it.
Yeah, how about
can't
that?
Write it. So
you know?
What you think?
What you think?
I mean,
you know, or you spelled it like I saw one. The girl's name was Erica. Erica. Her mama spelled it AIRWRECKA. Erica.
Yeah, she's not getting a job.
And she ain't getting no job. She ain't gonna see that.
Stamps, though.
Yeah, she could probably get some food stamps. That's word.
I mean, she can also open her own corporation and business and be her own entity that stands strong. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be teaching our kids.
That's what we should be teaching
them. We should be educating them
to
be better than, I don't care what your name is. Because did you know that every organization and corporation that ever blown up and has what lives the longest about you as the human? It's your name. And it's not your first name. It's your last name. You understand? So Procter and Gamble, that's last name. You know what I'm saying? Johnson & Johnson. You know, any company that is successful, their last name is living.
Right.
So if you can set up a process or become this entity where your last name will live forever, then you'll be a lost soul per se, in the existence of the process of the growth of the government. You know what I'm saying? And so
you know, and I like that, bro, because it makes me think my father said. His father gave him the name Gibbs.
Right.
I'm giving you that name. Treat it well.
Right.
So that when you pass it on, it's viable.
Right.
You know, black people are more likely to be killed by police and twice as likely to be killed while unarmed. What's the reverse of that? If you think about it, reverse racism would actually be kind of great, because it would mean we live in a society where all racial groups have equal power, but we don't. So to those who cry reverse racism, when a show like Blackish premieres or when a black person uses the N-word, stop it. That goes for you too, Candace Owens. And no, it is not racism when I call you and define you for what you are, which is a Negro peeing dead wench. Don't get in next. Where we at? All right. I give us some respect here. Hold up.
Yo, York was good.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Jesus, it's time for us to roll.
Yo, what's good? Yo, what's happening? Hey, yo. Delaware home care. If you know somebody that needs help with their disabled or sickly, link up Delaware home care. They can say the truth.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Go back. What's happening? You said something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy. We can shut them down.
We do, you know what I'm saying? Open Eyes Radio.
Hey, we can shut them down. I'm going to give y'all my last little thing, my last little rant. And the hour flew by. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
a whole lot we got to get to.
I was running behind the hour.
Yeah.
Yo. Lil, what's good? Yeah. You still counting the votes? The votes counted, man. Yo, give it up, man. Yo,
give it up.
Stop, man. It's not an orange world anymore. It's over. Sunset.
Jeez. That's crazy.
You still talking about the count. The count.
The count is done.
No, don't say that out loud. So that you go control.
Oh, Lord.
I'm getting ready to come down. I'll be there by about 12:15.
WHGE 95.3 FM. There was some stuff we didn't get to because we went through the hour so fast.
Right.
But be careful. The 20th is coming up. It's Inauguration Day.
Right.
All right. And these insurrectionists are not done.
Right.
Some of them getting charges. They on the no-fly list. They can't get on the plane and this, that, and the
But
other.
they ain't getting hung and killed. They're supposed to get locked up. They breached the Capitol. So
Right.
they already only got a slap on the wrist. Like
That's
I said.
right.
They ain't even. That's so sickening to me.
It
man.
is. It
If
is.
it was us,
You know.
lines of bodies dead outside the White House.
And
We
check
wouldn't
this
even
out,
got in
bro.
there, man. Oh, man,
Check this out. How did they know where to find these offices and what have you?
I know
Because some of the congressmen
pointed them.
pointed them. They gave them a tour the day before.
Right.
Gave them a tour the day before.
And they can run in and go right to specific, man.
That's where.
That's
Well,
how.
Let's get ready to get out of here, bro. Let me get this ran up right quick. Some of y'all heard me say this before. I'm going to start this with a quote from Dr. King. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Right.
I will not forgive willful ignorance. I saw a man who was asked how he could justify voting for these corrupt people as bad as things were in his area. He said he didn't mind if it hurt him as long as it didn't help them. This is ignorance and hate on a level that is unforgivable. I will not forgive those that turn a blind eye, geez Louise, to injustice. Oh, sookie, hold up. All right, where we at here? Okay. To injustice, who turn a blind eye to injustice. I will not forgive those that are dishonest about racism and bigotry and behave as if I'm wrong for exposing it. I will not forgive those who continue to attempt to turn back the clock on my people and constantly reinforce the structural impediments that still block my people being free. I will not forgive anyone that thinks a teenage boy who got shot had what was coming to him because his murderer decided he didn't know his place. I will not forgive anyone who has a problem with me being outwardly black. I refuse to sing Kumbaya by myself with people who have declared me and mine their enemy. I will not forgive anyone who has the paternal arrogance to tell me how I should feel and think about this. I have seen man's inhumanity to man way, way too close and personal. God forgives, I don't. You go to hell. And as I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
The Open Eye Radio Show. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. All right.
Yo, what's good?
Hope you enjoyed the show.
What's happening? Ronald. Yo, Jerry, what's good? Where you been? Everything good? Hey, yeah. Hey, yo, we about to close out now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're doing bounce.
Yo, Lou, I'm on my way, man. I'll be there in a few, man. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, yo. Hey, bro. Yo, just being me. Okay, you just being you. All right. Well, what do you think you did?